So you're wanting to buy a house here in Washington, or maybe you won't after watching this, but either way, if that's you, you're going to stick around because in this video, we're going to break down a few things that you definitely need to consider before you buy a house here in Washington State, and we're getting after it right now. Hey, what's up? My name is Austin. Chris, myself, and our team, we're getting phone calls, texts, and emails every single day from people just like you looking to make their move out here to Washington State. So whether you're looking to making a move in 9 days or 90 days, shoot us a phone call, text, email, carrier pigeon, whatever is your preferred source of communication so we can help you make that smooth move out here to Washington. If this is your first time to our channel and you don't know everything about what's going on in Washington, more specifically in the greater Tacoma area, hit that subscribe button and like this video so you can be the first one in the know about what's going on right here in the Tacoma market. Alright, so the first thing that people always kind of bring up is property taxes. And I gotta be honest with you, I hate paying taxes. Do you hate paying taxes? Well, property taxes in Washington are not as bad as they sound, but you should definitely be aware of them. So property taxes across the United States are typically rounded off at about 1%. Washington does come in a little bit less than that, between like 0.8 to 0.9. But now there are some crazy areas in Washington that will go way above and beyond this, and you need to be aware of this when you're looking at buying a house. For example, up north in King County, a 6.4% property tax right now because of all of the levies that they're putting into place. And we're seeing people getting priced out of their homes. Homeowners who've lived in the same place for 30 years, even if their home is paid off, now they actually can't afford to even stay in their house. So you want to make sure that you're checking wherever you're moving here in Washington what their property taxes are like. These obviously change year to year with the assessment, but the rule of thumb here in Washington is that property tax really should not be more than 1% of the actual value of the property. The second thing is swimming pools. Now, who doesn't love swimming, right? Everybody loves swimming. But should you buy a house here in Washington that has a swimming pool? I mean, you've seen in my other videos about the weather, and if you haven't, you can check out almost any video on our channel to find out what the weather is like here in Washington. Now, it's typically somewhere between 40 degrees to 75 degrees, and on some days you're gonna get that hotter weather that you're just not ready for, and it feels like you're really in a desert. But if you're searching for homes online right now, there are a lot of homes that have sat on the market a little bit longer. And in some cases, these have pools. The big reason for that is that a pool really adds no value to your property here in Washington. They're kind of a money dump. Have you ever heard the saying that the day somebody buys a boat and the day they sell the boat are the two best days of a boat owner's life? I'm on a boat! I'm on a boat! Out here, I kind of feel it's the same way about a pool. They're super expensive to maintain. You can't really use them very often. Actually, you'd be better off buying a boat with all the lakes and the sound and all the opportunities you have to, go boating, fishing, crabbing, whale watching, all those different options, right? The climate here really just isn't set up for a pool. Now, if you do get a pool, I would highly recommend that you find one that is already heated or have the spare money that you can do the conversion and make it a heated pool. Down the road though, when it's time to sell, don't be banking on the fact that you're gonna get extra money for your property because you have a pool. Are there a lot of them? Well, there are actually only a few states that have less pools than the state of Washington. So actually maybe that concern's not too bad. What do you think? Next, buying a home in a good school district. How does this make a difference in how you select your homes? Well, a lot of people here when they're out buying a home, not everybody has children, so of course they always tell me they're not super concerned about buying a house in a good school district. We look at school district number one according to niche.com, which is Mercer Island, and then we travel all the way down the list to number 101, which is the Kennewick School District. We can see there is a vast difference in the prices of these properties and the growth that they ultimately have over time. When we look at those two areas, see that Mercer Island's average price point is $2.5 million. That's some Richie Rich business right there.
I think all we ever talk about is money. We should be having fun.
Money is fun.
But Kennewick's, on the other hand, is just under $375,000. Which goes to show me that maybe buying a house in a good school district is probably a great option, even if you don't have kids. And that's not a high priority for you now, because when it comes to selling later, that's gonna come back and be a huge help. I'm originally from the Midwest, and basements were always a huge thing for us. We got stuck in the middle of tornadoes, twisters, giant lightning storms, and I cannot imagine living in the Midwest without a basement. So when we moved out here, that was one of the first things that we really thought about, and that's probably something that's on your mind if you're relocating into Washington as well. Should you buy a house with a basement? I mean, aside from them being kind of creepy from time to time, there are other reasons why maybe having a basement isn't the best bet here in Washington. First of all, there's really no need. We don't have tornadoes here. We don't have giant storms. Yeah, sure, it's gonna rain, but we don't have like these crazy twisters coming through at us.
Julia, we got cows.
Secondly though, with the high water table, having a basement really is not a very good idea long term. The soil's really wet all the time, and that water table is always rising, and it could really create a lot of problems for you with your foundation and just your home in general. So a basement is not something that I would put too high on my list. How about staying cool in the summer when it's super hot for like 4 months straight, right? Again, not something we're really dealing with out here in Washington, but one question that I get asked all the time is about air conditioning. And hey, Austin, when I move out to Washington, man, when we get a house in Tacoma, you gotta find me one with air conditioning. Frankly, about a third of the homes out here have air conditioning. That's pretty shocking, but this isn't Texas, this isn't Arizona, it's not hot for months on end. Our climate is pretty temperate. You can kind of have one wardrobe for the entire year, really. Air conditioning's not super important. But that said, also, when you look at what builders are putting on as what they consider air conditioners, guys, these things are so freaking small. What are you trying to do? Just air condition one bedroom? Get a freaking window unit for that. Chances are you're probably not gonna have an air conditioner in the house that you buy when you move out here. If you do, great. Look, I love air conditioning. I will happily go show you homes that have air conditioning all day long, especially when it's hot. I'd much rather be in a cool place. I mean, maybe not as cool as like, I don't know. The other thing you should be aware before you buy a house here in Washington is really getting your down payment in order for the house in general. There's been myths been predicated forever across banking, real estate, mortgages, and everything else to say you're gonna need 20% down. I don't know about you, but 20% when you look at the cost of a house in Washington, that's a lot of dough. Thank God that's really not the case anymore. We do have programs like government-backed loans than FHA that requires only 3.5% down. Of course you have your VA loans, which are 0% down. And then conventional loans, even these days, offer 3, 5, 10, all kinds of options available there. But you're gonna wanna talk to a mortgage lender about that. Like maybe this one, which is also my smoking hot wife. I'll put her information down in the contacts below. Good mortgage, help me feed all these children. The average home in the greater Tacoma area right now is selling for about $573,000, making Tacoma one of the best places you can buy a house, in my opinion, across the entire West Coast, because this whole side of the country is super expensive, and Tacoma area, it's quite a bit more moderate. That 575 sounds like a lot, but it's kind of creeping up more to the average. Thurston County south of us, which is another amazing market that I absolutely love working in. So if you find some houses down by Olympia in the capital, let me know. I'd love to go down there, eat at Anthony's, tour the capital, really kind of make a day of the experience. Comes in at around $511,000. And if you're thinking about the greater Seattle area, you're definitely going to be over 900 grand for your average home. Like I said, I don't go up there too much. I prefer to stay down here where I can afford to eat. All right, well, there you have it. There's some things I really think you need to take into account before we go shopping for a house here in Washington. Like I said before, Chris, myself, and the team, we're getting phone calls, texts, emails every single day from people just like you looking to make your move out here to the Evergreen State. So whether you want to move in 9 days or 90 days, shoot us a phone call, text, or an email so that we can help you make that smooth move out here to Washington. And until next time, look, I literally cannot wait till you're out here so I can show you around.